Welcome back to Living Healthy. It's time to get inspired. My guest today is Holly Dunn. Welcome, Holly. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me, Phil.
Awesome. Now, if I go back, life is great for you today.
Yes,
However, I don't think it was always that way, was it?
Nope.
Would you care to share? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Some challenges. First of all, I have a hair salon and a spa.
Excellent.
It's called Fresh Salon and Spa by Holly's, and we've had that for a year and a half now. And
it's a beautiful place.
It's going great.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Thank you. But back in 1992, I had some health challenges that started in March. And when I would get up on any particular morning, it seemed like a different joint was inflamed.
Just coming out of nowhere.
It was weird.
Wow.
And it could be a hip one week, and the next week the hip was okay, and then the knee was gone, and I'd go shopping like Frankenstein half the time, limping through the grocery store.
And every week something potentially different.
It was unbelievable.
Nothing made sense.
So I went to the doctor, and my GP, first of all, thought it was, bursitis with that, but each week when different things were popping up, I knew something was terribly wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all.
That's right. So he did some blood work in June, and sure enough, I had a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And it was taking me over fast, and I remember him saying, "It's not in your jaw yet, is it?" And I said, "Nope." Then in 2 days, it was in my jaw.
Wow.
It was just unbelievable. So I started with the doctor's appointments. I started looking for other alternatives at the same time, and had a really hard time. No medication seemed to be working.
Right.
And I really had to start thinking about, how did I get here at the age of 32.
Yeah, it puts you in quite a place mentally and emotionally, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I sensed that, I was always a capable person, and you felt hopeless, and you felt guilty for getting into that predicament. And it seemed like a predicament that I didn't know if I was going to get out of. Right.
Yeah, it was like a prison, and a prison of perception at the same time as well, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
So the journey started, and I began with a naturopath and a quantum chiropractor were my first two places to go. I did a couple psychics too to find out what I could do.
Right.
When I went to Chatham once a week, I would do my grocery shopping. And I'd go to the chiropractor once, and 2 hours later I'd go back for another session.
Gotcha.
And sometimes I would stay for a third. I would sometimes take my children with me. And it was interesting. I had some improvement. Some things were starting to shift a bit. I got a hold of self-help books, read them whenever I could. And the family came to my rescue for cleaning, because I wasn't able to do it through energy and so on.
Just took you out of the game.
Yeah, so they were 10 and 7 when they started regular cleaning nights, taking care of that. My daughter used to help me put on my clothing when she had to. She was 10.
Wow.
And after that, they'd look for me in the bathtub when they'd come home, because that's where I'd be. I didn't feel the pain there. So I did a lot of reading and hung out in the bathtub.
Gotcha. So that was your place of solace and pain relief.
Yeah.
Just the warm water itself.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
the flotation. It was good.
Wow. That was your happy place.
So I started taking different supplements at that time, and I actually was able to get into a state of pretty much remission through a more alkalized diet. So I was looking at a lot of different things.
Good.
But just before that, we went to Disney World. We'd been promising the kids a trip to Disney World, and in January of '97 we went.
Yeah.
And I was feeling as though, well, I don't know when I'm going to be any better than this, so now's the time to go. So I went to Disney World, and they pushed me in a wheelchair to go to all the different places to see there, and it was a time where I would sleep and have rest in the afternoon while everybody else went and swimming, because I was just so tired.
Just worn out from basic activities of daily life here. Wow.
So then things turned, and I was in remission. I got 2 years of remission from 1997 until 1999, and I did that through the alkalized nutraceutical that I was on, and my thoughts improved at that point. Felt way more hopeful. I met my current husband then, and so I had a couple of good years.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then I started getting into that sandwich generation where more responsibility. I had an ailing brother, and I was having a hard time emotionally with that. And I went down another path of needing help. So I decided to go to a new rheumatologist, and she led me to a drug that actually did work, and I started having less and less inflammation, which was wonderful, but I didn't feel good.
Right.
So
that was a side effect of the medication.
You got
unfortunately.
it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I decided I didn't want to stay on that.
Right.
It took me several years to get off of it, but in the meantime, I decided to step up all of the other modalities that I was doing. I discovered Atherton Drent at the Paradigm Center in Guelph. She does energy medicine, and I go to her about once every 3 weeks.
Good.
I pre-book my appointment. Works like clockwork.
And so it's part of your lifestyle routine as well as eating healthy, live, energized foods and supplementation. A whole lifestyle change, wasn't it?
It sure is.
And brings you to where you are again today.
That's right.
And
also, I met Sue DeBoer, and Sue is a well-known nutritionist that helped me with nutraceuticals and many other things, including the MRS 2000. She introduced me to that.
Excellent.
Which is pulsating magnetic resonance, and I lay on that every day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. Well, it's wonderful. I appreciate you sharing the story here today. Thank you very much, Holly.
Great.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.